Alright guys, September 15th, we're getting closer. Only about 9 days out till the season opener for archery. Heading over now to the private piece we got permission to hunt on. And food plots, I went up and checked on them there last week. They look like they're doing really well. So we're starting to see a lot of deer movement come through them. They're eating on them really well. We're gonna put up a Muddy Infinity 3 blind. I like it a lot. It helps out with having young kids like I have. Conceals a lot of their movement and stuff, and I like how the blind sets up. Got plenty of room in it. Windows are easy to maneuver. So I'll try to make a time lapse of me setting that up. We're gonna move around the camera over here too. We have it down like on the edge of the bedding. It hasn't really been doing that well, so I want to see how these deer are transitioning away from the acorns to the green food plots we put in there a few weeks ago. And they'll let me know what kind of way that I can get in there and get set up on them. The idea right now, I'm trying to find the right way to walk into this ground blind I'm about to set up. It's a really tough property to hunt, so it isn't like I can get in there without spooking anything every time. I mean, this is realistic. I don't have a 1,000-acre farm that I can choose any way I want to come into this. So sometimes we have to take risk on these small parcels of property that we hunt. It's the best we can do. But see what we come up with over here. Try to see how they react to me setting this ground blind up. See if it bothers them much or it changes any kind of patterns. See if the way I'm thinking about walking into this will work. So just stay with me here, and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright guys, I just made it up here. We're going to set this blind up. I'll probably end up putting it right up into there. Got a good backdrop. It basically stays that way throughout the winter too. I mean, it'll lose a lot of leaves, but there's so much brush, and there's a hillside back there that will help hide that blind and give it a good backdrop so it just don't stick out like a sore thumb. And can't really tell from the cell camera pictures, but this food plot has grown probably the best I ever had one grow. So I'm ecstatic about that. I'm really excited to see if it really draws in the deer I want it to. This is like the little oak flat is right through here. I'm gonna try to put that, I'm gonna move that cell camera down below this food plot. All the deer, they funnel out right here. We're on a big bank, a decent sized incline here. You can't tell with this camera. The deer funnel across this hill on this little bench right here. They come up into here. This new trail I created, I'm not sure if they're gonna start using it. I'm assuming they will, but I hope they don't, because I want to use that to access in here. If not, I'll have to access from the bottom side of the plot and walk up the side of it, and that's not something I can do. I don't want to do that. But I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse and let you watch me set this blind up. I'm sure it'll be fun. These hub blinds aren't always the easiest, especially when you don't do them every day. Once you figure out the trick to it, they pop right up. But usually a little bit of a hassle at the beginning. I got to cut out. I'm going to try to cut as little as I can in there so we stay concealed. And that sycamore tree right there will lose its leaves really quick. Sycamore right there, and it ain't quite big enough for a tree stand. I want to hunt this when my wind is blowing in that direction, obviously. Or even I got a wind that comes sideways across through here. Should be like a west wind. Get it blowing down in the holler the way I'm walking in, because this is the direction I'll be walking in from. The only way we can access the property is from that direction. So when you're walking into the woods, you want that wind in your face or a crosswind as much as possible, so you're not just blowing all the deer out as you're walking in. This is common knowledge to a lot of hunters, but you'll see more mature deer and have a better chance at a mature deer if you just really pay attention to the wind. Where we live out here in Ohio, there's so much ravines and really good sized hills that we get a big wind swirl. It's really hard to get it not to happen. So ground blinds are really, I think they help me out a bunch of not getting winded when I'm on stuff like this. If I get a tree stand, I try to place myself to where my wind blows off from a hill, place that deer don't regularly access, and I'm not blowing it back into where I think they're bedding. All these deer, I think they're bedding way back up in there. So the wind's not going to blow up into there. If I get a wind coming this way, it'll carve back through these woods. I've sat in here a lot. Most of the time the wind is coming west to east when I come in here. So, east to west. Yeah, that's right. So I get like a southeast or even a northeast wind. West wind, I do think deer do come from this direction, but if I get up to where my wind isn't falling down on this plot, I just keep it up this way behind us, I think I'll be doing pretty good. So let's get this time lapse going, and I'll let you guys laugh at me. It's always a pain in the butt. I like these blinds a lot, but I haven't used them for a year. I haven't set them up. It takes me a second to remember how to do it. But here you go. Alright, so this is basically the area that try to get it cleaned out in here. I'm going to have to set the camera down. I have a place to set up for a time lapse on this. But as you can see, if we're sitting here, it's more of a level spot. The food plot's sitting right down in there. Other side of the four-wheeler. If I get it. So we have a bunch of cover right here in front of us. We have olive that's back through here, and a leaf stay on it for a while, and there's a bunch of vines and stuff. So we have a really good backdrop. Kind of keep an eye on behind us too. We got a little bit of a block to our right. So the time they come out, we decide to, we can start taking our shots. That's why we're back up off everything, secluded away from where I want the deer to come out in, or where I'm watching them come out. So I'm gonna clean this all up. I'll get back with you and show you what I got done. So, all right, guys, got this little spot cleared out right here. Took a lot of the leaves. Did mess up. I didn't bring a rake. I normally do, but I got it mostly all cleaned up, so we ain't smashing leaves and stuff down. Put a little bit of debris up front right here. A lot of it's green and it'll die off. There's still briars and stuff that were naturally there. That will keep a little bit of some depth to the blind. So try to get the blinds placed in here. Then I'll go through and start trying to seal it a little bit better. But our backdrop, a lot of people will look what they can put in front of their blinds or their tree stands, what's in front of them to conceal them. But I would say it's more important what's behind you, so you don't silhouette yourself in any kind of way. That blind will go right there just in front of that stuff. It's got everything back behind it, so the blind won't be silhouetted itself. You know, it'll look a little bit more natural. All right, I'm gonna go set this blind up and see if I can get it to fit in that hole I just made. Might have to make some adjustments. We'll see. All right, guys, I got this blind up. It actually went up a lot easier than I was anticipating. So this is like the see-through mesh, so we can see out it. But when you look back at the blind, you can't see it. I really like this style blind. But muddy would just do a little bit better on whatever material that is to snap these windows in place. It's the only problem I've had with these blinds. But I like them. They're easy to set up. They last for a while. And they're not bad to get accessories and stuff for. But we're gonna have a really good shot out here. The food plot that sits right there. Say about a 30-yard shot to maybe a little past middle. Probably about 10 yards to that four-wheeler. And 20 yards would be out in the middle of the plot. And they like to walk right through that bench right there. But looks like we're back in here, tucked back into the brush a little bit. It's gonna be a fun spot to sit. We can kind of hear and see if anything comes up behind us before we spook anything. But if we can't get the deer to use the plot the way we want to, we might have to try something different. Right now I got that wind coming from east to west right now. It's really nice. So I was looking for, trying to get that wind to go back this way out of the blind. That's the way we'll be walking in, is from there. And there's a lot of deer can get downwind of us over there, but normally I think they'll come out of bedding from this direction right here. Let me get this, I'm gonna get some more stuff built up front here. Cut my way into a little bit better. Not too noticeable, just enough to where I get in here quietly. Get it staked down, and that should be about it. All right, guys, I think we got it now. Starting to warm up too. Man, that food plot is looking so good. So, got a little bit, not too much. As you look through there, I mean, yeah, it's a ground blind. It sticks out a little bit, but seems like a really good spot. Having the tree beside it over here on this side, olive. And most of that stuff stays green throughout the winter. Let's go up to the other spot. We gotta go move the other camera down, go get it out of the woods, go put it down here, drop off a little bit of corn for the blind stand up top, the tower stand. And we'll see what else we get into. All right, guys, I didn't get a chance to finish that video up there. I ran out of time after getting that ground blind up, and I did make it to the top. The food plot up there looks great. The trail camera's showing them deer transition that area the way I want them to, so I'm getting really excited. We had one of our target deer show up, which you'll see in the video before you get to here, and we have a lot of history with that deer, and hopefully this is the year we were able to harvest him. I'll probably end up, we're not sure what we're going to do for the season opener yet, because we found the deer we was targeting out there on public land, and we might go out and hop into a random spot and try to get lucky. or because we do have a few other spots that we know that we can go hunt and there might be something there, but we just haven't put any resources into it this year. If the private property is showing that the deer are moving on there in daylight, then that's probably where we'll end up for the season opener. Either try to get my boys in there on a deer, or possibly if that no brow shows up, I can go in there and try to put an arrow in him. Or even Brett, we get Brett up there. He's also going to be up there trying to help get this deer on the ground. It's been a long time. It'll be a really cool story. I've been close to that deer before, within 10 yards, and couldn't get a shot off. Hopefully this year's the year for him. But thanks for watching. You guys stay with us, and we'll keep the content coming.